President Trump could force peace in both the Middle East and Ukraine this week. And this peace push has panicked the city of London and King Charles because they thought they finally had won Trump to their side. Today, Trump meets with Benjamin Netanyahu to finalize the Mideast plan. You might think from the media that this plan suddenly appeared or that it's a masterstroke by former British Prime Minister Tony Blair. But it would not and will not happen without Donald Trump. It paves the way for a wide peace in the Middle East. That is something the globalist British Empire has prevented for more than a century. The empire's response is a dangerous escalation of the war in Ukraine. They have also launched a desperate psy-war, propaganda, and terror campaign to contain the spiritual revival which followed the assassination of Charlie Kirk. That same attack is aimed at Trump's takedown of the deep state, which had huge developments also last week. I'm Barbara Boyd, and I'm the co-author of the ebook, A Police Dossier. It's the British who murder our presidents. You can get the ebook by following the link in the description. Today, I'm going to first tell you about Trump's peace offensive in both the Middle East and Ukraine. Then I'm going to cover the developments in the president's takedown of our own deep state. Finally, I'll talk about the psy-war and propaganda campaign the British are conducting against the growing Trump political coalition. If our videos help you see the real battlefield ahead of us, please like and share this video. It will increase our reach on YouTube and help others to figure out where to focus in this most critical week. Now, Trump sprang his 21-point peace plan on Bibi Netanyahu at the best possible time. Right now, support for Israel and Trump's Republican Party has evaporated, particularly with young people. In Israel, both the IDF and the Mossad are in rebellion against Netanyahu's plan to occupy Gaza and annex the West Bank. Thousands of Israelis have been protesting weekly in the streets because the new Gaza offensive endangers the lives of the remaining hostages. But through it all, Donald Trump has retained his huge popularity with Israel's population. When Netanyahu attacked Qatar on September 9th, he endangered President Trump's most significant diplomatic accomplishment, the Abraham Peace Accords from Trump's first administration. Netanyahu lied that Trump had green-lighted the Qatar strikes. But Qatar is a U.S. ally and is deeply involved in Trump's negotiations with Hamas for peace. As a result of the strikes, a united Arab world threatened to either withdraw or never participate in the Abraham peace process. Trump's Abraham Accords were the first real progress toward Middle East peace in almost a century. Under them, all the wealthy Gulf states were lining up to recognize the state of Israel for the first time, to abandon terrorism, and to contribute to the development and government of Palestinian areas of Israel. The 21-point plan revives that after Joe Biden tried to kill it. The October 7th Hamas attacks on Israel were designed to bury it forever. Since the end of World War I, the British Empire has fanned religious warfare in the Middle East, playing both sides of the conflicts. They use religious wars to prevent nationalist governments from having the stability to interfere with their control of vital shipping lanes and oil. Now, for the first time ever, a U.S. president is ending that game. Their response is a dangerous escalation in Ukraine. The Russian and Hungarian intelligence services claimed over the weekend that Ukraine and Britain's MI6 have built Russian-designed drones. They plan to fly them in a false flag attack on Poland and Romania to trigger a direct NATO response. Just last week, the British were claiming that King Charles had convinced Trump to abandon his position on this war. But then it dawned on them that Trump had put them in a trap. He did repeat Europe's suicidal demands about continuing the war and their delusion that Russia was a paper tiger and falling apart in one Truth Social post. But that post was aimed at forcing them to face reality. Trump said those things without promising any significant U.S. support for their war. He is prepared to saddle them with an unwinnable war without the means to sustain it. At the same time, Trump was putting pressure on Putin to rapidly achieve his objectives and come to the table. On Sunday, Russia launched the largest attack of the war on Kyiv. Simultaneously, President Putin told TASS he will be making a major speech this week. He has re-invited President Trump to Moscow, and on Friday, he put refinements of the peace plan he discussed with Trump in Alaska back on the table. So it seems to me Trump is aiming for a very big twofer over the immediate period, namely peace in both the Middle East and Ukraine. Now, there were also huge developments in the war against our deep state this past week. James Comey was indicted. Cases against John Brennan and others involved in Russiagate and Ukrainegate are said to be being prepared. It was revealed that there were 274 plainclothes FBI agents in the crowd attending the January 6, 2021 Capitol protest. Many of these agents say they were deployed after a riot was declared without riot control training or equipment by a political leadership engaged in lawfare. Antifa and similar transsexual and anarchist gangs deployed in street riots and violence against the Trump administration presently and in 2020 were declared by the administration to be terrorists, and prosecutors are coming after the wealthy individuals, NGOs, and foundations financing them. But out of all these huge developments, I found this former exchange between Congressman Devin Nunes and Special Counsel Robert Mueller to be the most important lead going forward. Here it is.
First Trump associate to be investigated was General Flynn. Many of the allegations against him stem from false media reports that he had an affair with the Cambridge academic Svetlana Lokova, and that Lokova was a Russian spy. Some of these allegations were made public in a 2017 article written by British intelligence historian Christopher Andrew. Your report fails to reveal how or why Andrew and his collaborator, Richard Dearlove, former head of Britain's MI6, spread these allegations. And you failed to interview Svetlana Lokova about these matters. Is that correct?
I'm not going to get into those matters to which you refer.
Did you hear what Mueller said? I can't discuss that because it's classified. Our police dossier proves the Russiagate and the subsequent attempt to overthrow the government of the United States, which lasted through 2024, was a British plot. That's what they're trying to keep hidden. Devin Nunes and others close to the president know that Christopher Steele, the man who authored the dirty dossier about Trump, was not some rogue British agent. His dirty Russiagate fabricated dossier about Trump was supported by the highest levels of British intelligence, including Sir Richard Dearlove and Sir Christopher Andrew. If the Trump administration now forces the declassification of all British and Ukrainian intelligence operations with the United States, beginning with the Ukraine coup in 2014, they will discover the real traitors against our country, the people behind the attempted assassinations against Donald Trump and the 2016 through 2024 Cold Coup against our country. If that is done, all the smaller fish will turn on one another. Doing it will show the true face of our enemy and how the political process has been manipulated to divide us. Let's not start at the bottom and work up. Let's start at the top and work down. Again, if you find our videos helpful and they help you to find the real enemy and put today's events in the right historical context, please like and share this video. Following the Kirk assassination, there is a massive spiritual revival underway in the United States. It could reverse a decades-long culture war which promoted secular religious cults, materialism, hedonism, and a deadly pessimism. That counterculture war intended to destroy the unique American blend of creativity and optimism at the very heart of this nation. The British and their assets in the Democratic Party, Wall Street, and the intelligence community know that if they can't contain this spiritual revival, the United States is lost to them, starting with the 2026 midterms. So they have launched a poisonous internet campaign. It centers on the claim that the president has been taken over by Washington's corrupt establishment, particularly Israel's lobby and Silicon Valley. It claims that President Trump and the FBI are covering up for the real assassins of Charlie Kirk, just like they covered up the real clients of Jeffrey Epstein. The New York Times carried a profile of Trump ally Marjorie Taylor Greene on Sunday, which echoed these attack lines. They are also escalating direct calls for violence against ICE and key administration officials like Stephen Miller. It's impossible for me to imagine that the attacks on the Dallas ICE facility, the innocent restaurant crowd in North Carolina, and the Michigan Mormon Church, which all occurred over the last 5 days, didn't come from the same ultimate author. But when you put these developments together, you see that the only weapon this empire has left is fear and the ability to sow disorientation through the media. Their aim is to distract you from the real fight President Trump is waging on behalf of America's workers, builders, and creators to restore our economic and spiritual might. They want you to forget about the massive victory Americans won last November and the hard journey we all took to get there. That's why we here at Promethean Action work so hard to present the real issues in their historical context so you can see the real battlefronts and act accordingly. This week, we're launching our campaign to achieve 5,000 paid subscriptions to our newsletter. That will allow us to expand our staff, our video productions, our newsletter content, and better serve our mission in winning this battle for the nation. If you haven't become a paid subscriber yet, please subscribe and recruit others to do so now. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you again on Thursday.
Thanks for watching. Please take a moment and subscribe to our free newsletter at prometheanaction.com.